Well, good morning. So I've been away for a month or so, and the reason was about a year ago I had my hip replaced, and then earlier this month I was playing hockey and took an awkward fall, and of course fell right on that bad hip and refractured it or fractured it, and so it had to be replaced. So I've been horizontal for most of the month. I think my hockey career came to an abrupt end. My wife was ready to kill me. I think she burnt the hockey equipment on the lawn out front. But anyway, so here I am. So we've been going through John Gottman's book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and we're on principle number 5. So we've done the first 4, and then principle number 5 is solving your solvable problem. So he divides marital conflict into solvable problems and what he calls perpetual issues that'll probably be part of a couple's life for their whole marriage. And in principle number 5, we're going to deal with solvable problems, and then next week, principle number 6, we'll look at overcoming gridlock, what he calls gridlock, the perpetual issues. But he goes on to say that if you're going to be successful at resolving conflict in any form, he suggests implementing the following 5 steps. Soften your startup, learn to make and receive repair attempts, soothe yourself and each other, compromise, and process any grievances so they don't linger. And he goes on to say that in reality, these steps are not necessarily difficult. We tend to use them all the time. He says, to a certain degree, my 5th principle comes down to having good manners. It means treating your spouse with the same respect you offer company. It makes sense to me. Anyway, as in previous chapters, there's a questionnaire for each of the 5 steps. Readers can check how well they're doing. And then there are exercises to improve. For example, your startup, or soothing yourself or your partner, or how skillful are you, for example, at finding common ground and then being able to compromise, or at processing a previous emotional injury so it doesn't recur. Then he goes on to devote a whole chapter to coping with what he sees as 7 typical solvable areas of marital conflict. And he enumerates work stress, in-laws, money, sex, housework, internet-fueled distractions, and having a new baby. So those are 7 sort of hot spots. And a key, he says, and for me, it is the key, is safety. Couples have to feel safe in their relationship, safe to be able to express differences and be respected. And then he goes on, when the issue is solvable, the challenge is to find the right strategy for conquering it. And so he goes through those 7 hotspots and shares the tasks that they each represent for a marriage, and then specific advice for addressing the solvable disagreements that they often trigger. So I used money, for example, is one hotspot. So the task is balancing the freedom and empowerment money represents with the security and trust it also symbolizes. So there's often that conflict between wanting to spend it and saving it for security. The solution is to be able to work as a team on financial issues and express your concerns, needs, and fantasies to each other before coming up with a plan. And again, that's the importance of safety. And then his specific advice for this particular area of conflict, he says, step 1, itemize your current expenditures. I remember years ago working with a financial planner, and he had us write down every penny we spent per month, just so you know what you're dealing with. So itemize your current expenditures. Step 2, manage the everyday finances. And then step 3, plan your financial future. Now the point here is, whatever your disagreement over finances, you'll diffuse the tension by working as a team to devise a plan you both can accept, even if it doesn't give you everything you want right now. So then he ends that chapter, which was going to lead into principle number 6, with sometimes, no matter how diligently you try to end the conflict, it just can't be done. If that's the case, you're dealing with a perpetual problem. Now, avoiding or breaking out of gridlock over such a problem is one of the chief challenges all couples face. So my next principle will show you just how to save or protect your marriage from your irreconcilable differences. So that's what we'll take a look at next week. So anyway, good to be back again. Hope you're all well, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.